The term political correctness gone mad is somewhat overused. However, there is a story that came out about a week ago which I picked up while I was on holiday, and it is political correctness gone mad. I want to stress, I'm not making any of this shit up. This is too weird for fiction. Now, it centres around a TV show that's made in the UK but seen all around the world. And it turns out this show apparently has been giving out messages which are sexist and racist and support class division. So that is racism and the patriarchy. And what makes this even worse, this white power alt-right show is it's aimed at kids. So what on earth could this TV programme be called? Well, it's Thomas the Tank Engine. Apparently, Thomas the Bloody Tank Engine is now part of the far right. So let's get right into this. And if you're not familiar with this show, it's been on TV since the early 80s, which was when I watched it as a kid. When Ringo Starr was narrating it, because we all know how right-wing he is. Peace and love, peace and love. And it's based on some books that were written over 70 years ago by a vicar, and it's about a fictional island in the Irish Sea and the lives of the steam trains who live there, because the steam trains are sentient. It's not factually accurate. So let's get into the sexism of it. Well, in the old series, before the reboot, the guy that ran the railway was called the Fat Controller. Now, he's been axed. He's gone from the reboot. Because, first of all, he's called fat, and obviously you can't use that word. That's fat-shaming and sizist, and it'll have all the snowflakes crying into the fucking couscous. And secondly, it's a man, a white man running a company. What fucking message are we trying to send out here? So he's been replaced by an Indian woman. And I'm not surprised by that. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if she was also blind, in a wheelchair, and a lesbian, just so they've ticked every fucking box. But more on the sexism is that in the original series, all of the steam trains had male names. But think on, when this was written, that would have been normal. Trains were a boy's thing. But yeah, the trains all had male names. But, crucially, the carriages had female names. And this is a sign of male dominance, apparently. Because the carriages can't do anything without the assistance of the male steam engines. Now, I would flip that on its head and say, clearly what's happening here is the male characters are doing all the fucking work and the female characters are getting a free ride. But I wouldn't go that far into it. Because of this. I watched Thomas the Tank Engine as a kid, and I don't recall any episode where he got his cock out. And the reason for that is he's a fucking train. It's a machine used for moving things about. But don't worry, it's been balanced out in the rebooted new series, because now there are as many female trains as male trains, and I quote, they can do the job just as well as the boys. A train is limited by the amount of torque it can generate. So let's take it up again. Now, also, Thomas the Tank Engine is racist. Now, I've been racking my fucking brains on this one, and I can't see it. Because Thomas the Tank Engine, the lead character, is blue. Who is looking at a blue steam train and going, well, that smacks of apartheid, doesn't it? Clearly, that blue steam train, that's a bit anti-Semitic, for fuck's sake. But don't worry, that's been balanced out as well, because one of the new female trains of the new series is also African. And to make it more inclusive, it's now not going to be on the little island, it's going to be all around the world. I want to see how accurate that is. When Thomas is going through China, will there be soldiers just shooting protesters? Or in India, is he going to have 1,000 people clinging to the fucking carriages, and a cow will walk on the track and he'll get derailed? And you may be wondering, why am I so bothered about this? And it's simple, it's because it's the thin end of the wedge. Whenever the PC brigade get their own way, it's never enough. It's always got to be made a bit worse. So what's going to happen next? I mean, I'll bet soon there'll be someone in a meeting who will go, have you noticed that all the original characters, the sexist male trains who beat the carriages, well, they're steam trains, and that produces pollution. So they'll be getting rid of some of them. That'll be a fun episode when Gordon's pushed into a blast furnace to be decommissioned and melted down. Or alternatively, Thomas will be driving along covered in fucking solar panels and there'll be wind turbines along both sides of the railway. And then after that, you wait until it goes, oh, Thomas the Tank Engine, that sounds like it's got connotations with war. So in a couple of years, it'll be Thomas the fucking Trans Engine. Thomas, he's sick of being a mail train. He wants to transition to be a beautiful carriage when he get pulled about by James all day. There's an image for you. And if this story couldn't get any fucking weirder, when I was looking at it this morning, the NRA have weighed in on it now. The National Rifle Association in America have put their 2 cents in. Because some of them, and I stress again, I am not making this up, are not happy that there is an African train in Thomas the Tank Engine. So what they did on their TV channel, they've remastered or reworked the start of Thomas and Friends, and they put Thomas the Tank Engine in a white fucking hood. Now imagine anyone who's gone, what's this about Thomas the Tank Engine being racist? The first video you come to in the newsfeed, he's in the fucking KKK! Thomas is in the Klan! Really? Whatever side of this you're on, if you are, NRA or some fucking ultra-liberal, why do kids' TV programmes have to be so fucking politicised? Why can't you just make something fun for the kids to watch? And I'd love to leave it here, but I'm sure next week someone else will work out that in some way Postman Pat was a fucking Nazi sympathiser. But as far as Thomas the Tank Engine goes, that's all. Do 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 do.